I'm Laura Ingraham, and this is the Ingraham Angle. This is the Ingraham Angle. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from New York City. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle live from the Patriot Awards in Hollywood, Florida. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Los Angeles tonight. All right. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Wyoming tonight. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from what feels like a banana republic tonight.
Hi, I'm John Cohen, and this is the Queen's Gambit, if you were Laura Ingraham. Prologue. This really should be my second book. I was in the midst of writing my first book about the Las Vegas Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting when the world came to a grinding halt. Winter of 2020 was the winter of coronavirus, COVID-19. Everything ground to a halt. Air traffic, shipping, commuting, and life as we know it in general. Masks were required to go inside a supermarket. I had to pull back from my research on the Las Vegas shooting and realized something was happening that had epic implications. It wasn't until March 2020 that Jason Goodman, the producer of Crowdsource the Truth and my co-host on Friday nights, suggested that something was fishy about the Wuhan virus story. Jason wasn't buying the COVID came from a wet market story. I had been shopping in wet markets for 7 years already. Having lived in Thailand since 2013, wet markets were common to me. I bought my chicken, fish, and pork at wet markets and didn't give it any thought until Jason suggested I dig in. What I ended up discovering was spectacular, unexpected, and hard to believe. It was a level of evil hard to believe could exist in this day and age. The real story wasn't being told. It was being covered up by both the news media and the big tech firms, Twitter, Facebook, and Google, YouTube, in a manner we haven't seen since the Las Vegas shooting cover-up. When I realized that Johns Hopkins was using the software that I helped architect over 30 years ago, ESRI's ArcInfo, everything changed. They were in my domain. This was my system. This was my world. Something was wrong, and I could not be gaslighted. Next thing you know, my research was challenging the official narrative. As a result, I again found myself as one of the most dangerous men in the world to the narrative. What happened next is hard to believe. I was contacted by a viewer from Switzerland. He introduced me to the #1 female newscaster in America at the time, Laura Ingraham. I'm going to share every single email between me and Laura Ingraham so there is no confusion. What would you have done if you were Laura Ingraham? Chapter 1. Holy... That's my map. By mid-April of 2020, my work on the COVID-19 outbreak was already ruffling feathers and causing a stir. I didn't realize it at first, but the entire COVID-19 pandemic was being tracked by the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. I went to Drudge Report, and in the middle column at the bottom was their coronavirus section. At the bottom of that section was something they called the sick map. This was the map that all the networks were using. It was all over TV. Every major news organization was using this map to illustrate where the outbreak was having the most impact and where to focus next. I don't remember the exact moment, but I do remember the feeling. Jason had asked me to dig in further. He suspected something was amiss. I was going along with the mainstream narrative and didn't give it a second thought. When I looked more closely at the Johns Hopkins map, I realized it was built using ESRI's ArcInfo, and I just about fell out of my chair. Over 30 years earlier, I was the lead guy at Oracle that spearheaded the ESRI project. ESRI's ArcInfo was my project. It was my baby. No one at Oracle was paid more money for the ESRI project than me, and no one drove out to Redlands as many times as I did to get the project underway. Over the course of the past 30 years, ESRI of Redlands, California has become the global leader in geographic information systems, a category they developed and took me along for the ride. When we met ESRI the first time, their proposition was so far out we could barely understand what they wanted to do. Everybody on the team at Oracle was befuddled at first, but the genius of ESRI's vision was explained by their founder, Jack Dangerman, and his team of architects and engineers to my team of implementation specialists. All of the meetings and negotiations were taking place as Megan Ellison, the producer of Zero Dark 30, was turning 2 years old. Since I've spent quite a portion of my adult life in Asia, I was more prone to look at countries in the vicinity of Thailand. That was the beginning of the end of Fauci's narrative. Thailand didn't have 100 people dead. Vietnam, with 100 million people, had no one dead. Nor did Laos, Cambodia, or Mongolia. The pièce de résistance, however, was that Shanghai, Beijing, and Hong Kong each had less than 10 dead. According to Johns Hopkins' iteration of the mapping system that I built 30 years ago, outside of Wuhan, there weren't 150 people dead in China. The entire outbreak had been contained to Wuhan, according to Johns Hopkins. There weren't 10 people dead in Shanghai or Beijing. And as of October 1st, 2021, there still weren't.
Doesn't seem to be anybody else who agrees with me. Do you believe what you see? Motionless sweet, nothing is real. Wasting my time in the waiting line. Do you believe in what you see?